My goal for this channel is to help new and experienced players alike to get better at the game. I get questions in my comment section a lot, and also on the Discord build channel, about which abilities to put on gear, and I partly answer the same thing every single time. I always tell them, first of all, put on the 3 goats. What are the 3 goats? These are the best abilities in the game because you can put them on every single weapon build, no matter what, and it will be good, even optimal. To me, they are the comp standards. Before I tell you what I think they are, I would like you to pause the video and leave a comment on what 3 abilities you think are the best. In my opinion, there are no bad answers if your arguments are good enough. I personally believe that LD, Comeback, Ninja Squid, and Stealth Jump are the best main abilities in the game. You can put them on every weapon and it can be good. I'll make a separate video for those abilities. But what I actually think the 3 goats are Quick Super Jump, Ink Resistance, and Bomb Defense. These are the defensive standards for me. Why do I consider them the best? I've talked about LD so many times and why I think it's one of the best abilities in the game. For each of these abilities, you get so much value off of 1 sub. Just 1 sub. Only having to utilize 1 slot to get so much value makes them, in my opinion, the best abilities in the game. First of all, the thing that I want to say is it really doesn't matter what weapon you're playing, you'll get value out of these defensive tools as they are not dependent on your weapon, but on your opponent's weapons. Let me explain in detail what they do. I will be using Sendu.inc for these examples. Shout out to Sendu and Ling Yoshi for collaborating and making this website available for builds and spreading information. Go check out their content, links in the description. Let me explain what Quick Super Jump does. 1 sub of Quick Super Jump shaves off 22 frames of vulnerability on your super jumps. It doesn't seem like a lot, but trust me, this adds up, especially in modes like Rainmaker and Tower Control where you want to keep up with the team. A trend you'll see in this video is that staying alive is far better than dying. It seems really obvious and you might think I'm making fun of you for even mentioning this, but the number 1 mistake people make in ranked is that they die way too much. Trust me, you will notice the 1 sub of Quick Super Jump when super jumping back to base in a pinch. You should try it. Now let me explain what Ink Resistance does. Ink Resistance allows you to take damage less quickly in ink. It adds a buffer time before you start taking damage while in enemy ink, and reduces the amount of maximum damage taken in ink, and it also increases your run speed and jump height in enemy ink. The main reason you run this ability though is for that buffer time before you start taking damage. Let me explain a concept in Splatoon. Most, if not all weapons, combo with their sub-weapon or some other factor to splat you. Some weapons even just nearly splat you. Let's take the Splatana Stamper as an example. The vertical shot into Burst Bomb Indirect does 95 damage exactly. This kills you if you don't have Bomb Defense or Ink Resistance. Why? When you get hit by the shot, you're more likely to get stuck for just a few frames in ink, but those few frames are just enough damage to kill you from this combo. 1 sub of Ink Resistance gives you 10 leeway frames to not get hurt in enemy ink. This is huge. This is the difference between life and death. Now this brings me to Bomb Defense. I go back and forth on whether or not it's worth it in this game. In Splatoon 2, it also reduced the amount of damage taken from explosion damage, not just subs, and MPU was still a thing in that game. However, in Splatoon 3, I still think it's worth it. When I consider the combo from Splatana Wiper and other weapons, the fact that bomb spam is so strong and ranked around small areas that you want to control, to me it's worth it. Just look at how much bomb defense does for you too. It reduces a lot of tracking time on all the sensor sub weapons, and it shaves off a little bit of damage on every single sub-weapon. You may be thinking, wow, 4% less damage is nothing. Take the Splat Bomb and Suction Bombs, for example. They both do 30 indirect damage. In a scenario where the opponent is trying to chip you down, hit you with fall-off damage from a ledge, if you stay stuck in ink for any more than 20 frames, you are dead. The 1 to 2 damage you shave off from an indirect bomb damage, and 4 damage shaved off from the ink resistance save lives. Let's take the Slosher, for example. The Slosher combos exactly with its 70 damage from the main weapon and the Splat Bomb indirect damage. Consider shooters under a ledge. Their fall-off damage nearly kills you. Imagine if you didn't have ink resistance and bomb defense to save you from that little chip that might kill you. I really hope that I convinced you that chip damage is way more important than you probably realized. Go into a ranked game and start actively noticing just how many bombs are thrown and get you killed indirectly. An honorable mention to an ability I haven't talked about is Special Saver. Just one sub gives you the most bang for your buck. It allows you to keep nearly 10% of your special gauge after dying. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it for every weapon though. This is why it's not part of the GOATs in my opinion, even though it's one of the best abilities in the game. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it for every single weapon, as some specials are in my opinion not worth building around, and for people who play backlined, in theory you're not supposed to die. In practice, it's probably just best to play it safe and run it anyways. Even if I haven't convinced you that those are the best abilities in the game, I probably changed your mind on their value. I hope that you enjoyed the video, that you found it informational. Leave a like and subscribe if you want more content like this. At the moment, I'm doing a lot of theory crafting on stream and on Discord. I would love it if you want to go check those out. Links are in the description. Alright, see you next time.